Hi, everybody. Tonight is Thursday nights where we get to do some training, and personal development is so important for this business. And I just love bringing together different people with different passions and skill sets, and they just pour into us. So tonight is no different. Kari Lynn is going to teach us. I'll let her introduce the topic because I think she's got some interesting stuff to say. So I'll let her do that. And Kari Lynn, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. I know it's month end and we've all got that exciting rush of the end of the month, right? Who's with me there? So thank you, Aaron, for the opportunity to share. I got hooked on personal growth and development just by attending Monate events and John Maxwell and the big events there. It's what kind of got me suckered in, you might say. And I'm a personal growth and development not expert by any means, I just love doing it and I love sharing it and I see what it's done for me too. And so I just love this space and being able to share and learn by everybody. So a little bit about me. I've been with Monate 6 years, originally from Alberta, Canada till November when we decided to follow our dreams. Our topic tonight is believe in your dreams. So we decided to follow our dreams. My hubby had wanted to do this for years actually, and I finally gave in and our kids came along, 17, 21 and 26, and it's worked out even better than I could have imagined for each of us individually and as a family. So I'm going to share my screen with you here and let me know as soon as I find all the right buttons to do that with, that you can see the right thing. There we go. So you should see my title there, Believe in Your Dreams. I'm going to be talking to you, and maybe for some of you, this is refreshing a dream that you've had. Maybe this is your why that originally got you started with Monate, and maybe it's been set aside for a bit, and maybe it's time to pull it back out again and refresh your memory with it. So the topic is based on John Maxwell's book. Anybody heard of John Maxwell? His book, Put Your Dream to the Test, sorry. Put Your Dream to the Test. And it's an exciting one because you know what? I get to speak life over you and I get to speak life over your dreams and to really speak to the reason, you know what, that you said yes to Monate and that you continue to say yes to Monate. So what is your dream? Let's pull that thought out again. And then I want to ask you, will you achieve it in your lifetime? So I'm pretty sure the reason that we're all here, the reason that we all press that submit button is we have a dream. We have a dream, and finally this looks like an opportunity that maybe we can realize that dream and it can come to life again. So I want to be interactive here. Use the chat feature. I'd love to hear your comments, and if I can find all the right buttons to see them as we go, I'm not ignoring you, but I want to see what your thoughts are, and just even write the word dream. Let's awaken some thoughts inside of you about your dreams. Put dream in the comments if you've got one. All right, I see that coming. Awesome. My guess is, yes, that if you are here, if you've said yes to Monate, you're saying yes to your dream. Something drew you to Monate that spoke to you about your dream and is speaking to you about your dream, and you're here because you want to believe in that dream, and you know, like I do, that Monate is that vehicle, can help you to realize that dream and actually live it out, not just leave it out. Am I right? Anybody else relate to me there? No one wants to leave out their dream, so I want you to write that in the comments. Live it out in the comments if that is you. So I'm excited to be here sharing with you, speaking on a topic that I have seen change in my life, which is why I'm so passionate about it. And the topic is pursuing our dreams. I don't want anyone, and I repeat, anyone, to feel like they've missed out on their dream or feel like it will never happen, that their dream is not worth it, or worse yet, that you are not worth living out your dream. So I'm excited to share with you these questions in John Maxwell's book. The book what did I say? Living out your dream, putting your dream to the test, sorry, to encourage you and to empower you to do anything you can to achieve your dream. Anybody read that book here? Anybody read John Maxwell's book or other books? You can put that in the comments too. I'd love to hear what the books are that you have read. Yes, read it. Awesome. So I have been in that place where I didn't dream. I don't know if anybody can relate. I was at one point living my dream, and then everything changed. And my dreams were crushed. Everything changed. I was in a place fighting for my dreams, not wanting to let them die, but knowing they were nowhere near close to reality anymore. And I had to come to a point to decide, what am I going to do? You know, my why was literally staring me in the face every single day. And that was my kids, my family. I couldn't let them down. How would my dreams ever come back? And I shared with you the entire story, it would all make sense, but would they ever see those dreams? Was this it? And my dreams were going to be shelved forever. So I hope that this topic here tonight will ignite that fire in you to, yes, to fight for that dream, whatever it is, to not relent and put your dreams away. Instead, we're going to put your dreams to the test. So what is it? What is that dream that you're recovering, resurfacing? Will you achieve it in your lifetime? Have you thought about that? I'm sure you hope you will, like I did. I hoped, but will you actually do it? What odds would you give yourself that you'll achieve it? 1 in 5? 1 in 100? How can you tell whether your chances are good or whether your dream will always remain just that? Just a dream. See, I was there. I was wondering if my dreams would always and forever then just be a dream, unrealized, as my world came crashing in on me and life would no longer remain the same way that it was. And and then I had my kids in tow, and I'm going to let their dreams down too. Could I be a victim of my circumstances, or could I find another way? And for me, enter Monate. I believe that God brought that along for such a time as this for me. So share with us, if you will, write it in the comments below, your answer to this question. I want to ignite it in you. Is your dream worth fighting for? Are you willing to put your dream to the test? And if you're willing, I want you to write that in the comments, right? I'm willing to fight for my dreams, to do what it takes to not have them shelved or shoved under the carpet, to realize my dreams. And yes, as the book says, to put it to the test. So friends, Mo family, I want to leave you here with the inspiration, knowing that your dream does not have to be shelved, no matter what the circumstances are that you're facing or have faced, or it continues to come back, no matter how hopeless it may seem at times. You can have hope too. There's always hope. John Maxwell tried to write this book actually 3 times. And every single time that he tried writing a book on dreams, he thought they were all too fluffy and too wishy, and just there was no substance. So this is his result after 3 efforts to try writing a book on dreams. And he came up with 10 questions. So this is where I encourage you to get that book out and look up all 10 questions. And the book asks you how these questions to help you to make sure that your dream is legitimate, that your dream, if you can answer yes in a positive way to all 10 of the questions, then it's going to help you to achieve your dream and set you up for success. So tonight I'm going to identify just a couple of those tools for you, those questions, and also the reasons that might keep you stuck. And we're going to go into that in a few minutes, because I want you to realize your dream, and we have to identify them and we have to put them to the test, right? How can we see our dreams come true if we don't actually get behind the wheel and give it a test run, right? Are you with me? We need to put them into action. So what is a dream? Let's talk about exactly what is a dream. A dream is an inspiring picture of that future. You can see the child there that energizes your mind, your will, and it energizes your emotions. Now, in John Maxwell's book, he talks about these dreams. You know what? If you hadn't heard of John Maxwell before, he's come to Monations 2 or 3 times, I think, Aaron. And he's a speaker. He's an author. He's sold more than 26 million books, 50 languages. He is just that leadership expert. And he says that everything rises and falls on leadership. So when you apply that thought, just a side note here, you take that thought of everything rises and falls on leadership, and you apply that quote to Monate, to your business, you can ask yourself how your leadership rises and falls in relationship to your business. Your new clients, are you leading them towards the best care and products for them? Your team, are you leading them towards their dreams and helping them achieve their goals? What about yourself? Are you leading yourself? We all have those obstacles, those challenges that come our way. Are we leading ourselves over them and through them? Or are we allowing those things to keep us stuck? So everything rises and falls on leadership and how you pursue your business. And I ask, are you leading in your DMO, your daily method of operations, or your DMW, the daily method of whatever happens? Is that what's taking over in your business? How is your leadership? Is it rising or is it falling? Again, John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership, everything. And you get to choose. Are you going to lead, or are you going to let life take over? If you're like me, the DMW, the daily method of whatever, takes over far too often, right? And far too easily. And our day gets distracted and sometimes dictated by circumstances, right? A little like the tail wagging the dog scenario, but we know better. We know we can take charge of our day, our DMO, and we can take charge of our dreams too. So John Maxwell, he's a leadership guru. He's really helped me in knowing how to rise up. And one of these tools is this book that I'm sharing with you today, because dreams are those things that propel us. They're going to give you energy to keep going, when it gets tough, when you just run out of ideas and you just don't feel like it. Those dreams are what's going to push you forward to take that next step and create the momentum again. And everybody's got to have a dream, right? What if you're not sure whether you have a dream that you want to pursue? Let's face it, how were you raised? Many people were not encouraged to dream. You've maybe heard it before, but you don't expect too much, don't expect too much or you're going to get disappointed. Can you relate with me there? Don't set your expectations too high. Have you been told that before? Put an emoji in the comments if you've heard that. Don't set your expectations before. You're going to be too high. You're going to be disappointed, right? And others will have dreams that, like me, you lose hope and maybe you set them aside for a time because you don't think that they'll come back again. So do you have a dream? I want you to write that in the comments. I have a dream. Let's wake that up. It's important to do this because a lot of us are actually too afraid to even admit that we have a dream, because that would mean we have to believe in it, right? It would mean that we have to believe in ourselves, and then we might be held accountable. And it's a vulnerable place to share a dream with somebody. I have a big dream, crazy big. I love it. Yes, I encourage you. Take that step towards your dream, becoming aware that you have a dream inside of you and sharing that you have that dream. And thank you for putting that in the comments, because you know what that does is it encourages us, right? We can lift each other up this way. So there's 5 common reasons that people have for not identifying their dreams. And maybe these reasons are why it's hard for you even to admit if you have a dream, or you've been here before, or you can see this happening in somebody else. And number 1 is discouragement from dreaming by others. So other people can discourage us, right? We call these people dream crushers or idea killers. Anybody had somebody like that in your life? They don't have any dreams of their own, but they don't want to see anyone else succeed with their dreams then either. So how many of you have had experience with a dream killer before? Have you heard the story of the 4 monkeys? Anybody heard the story of the 4 monkeys before? There was a group of researchers, and these researchers had an enclosed room. They put a banana tree in there with beautiful, big, abundant bananas at the top, and they brought in a group of 4 monkeys. Now, the first monkey tried to climb up that tree, and when the monkey got up to where the bananas were, they doused the monkey. They doused the monkey with this cold torrent of water. Naturally, that first monkey ran down the tree. Second monkey tried the same thing. Guess what happened? He's just about to get there, and the researchers doused the second monkey with this cold water. Every monkey tried to get up that tree, and every monkey ran down the tree unsuccessful. Then what happened is the researchers traded a monkey in for another monkey that had no experience with the cold water. And they let that new monkey run up the banana tree. But you know what happened is the other three that had that bad experience, they began to pull the monkey down. Then the researchers took a monkey out one by one, and they replaced each monkey with a new monkey. So until there were 4 brand new monkeys in that room that had never seen, never felt that cold water, didn't experience that, but still in turn, they would pull the other monkeys down when they tried to climb up to get the bananas. They don't know why they did that, but they still pulled each other down. See, every one of us has been pulled down, right, by someone that has had a bad experience in that area, or they've heard about someone having a bad experience. I know I've heard that even with multi-level marketing, right? You don't want to do that because, so-and-so had a bad experience with it. And so they attempt to pull us down. So that's one of the reasons for not identifying our dreams. The second reason is that some people are hindered by past disappointments and past hurts. Disappointment is that gap between expectation and reality. And our expectation can sometimes be way out there. And the difference between what is happening and what we thought would happen then is what we call those are our disappointments, right? There is a tremendous gap. And we see that as failure. And failure can be that thing that hinders us. But what we don't realize is that failure is that price that we need to pay for that success. Failure is sometimes the places where we can learn the most, right? In my own family, we've had experienced setbacks like this, and it's taken us some time to recover. A number of years ago, we had a huge financial setback with a business investment, and we had lots of losses in our family. It seemed like one family member after another family member after another family member, and it really did stall us. It was a series of disappointments, huge disappointments and hurts and losses. And what we didn't realize through all of that season was those losses and yes, some failures in our eyes then were that even though they were paralyzing at the time, they were the very thing that set us up for new success and new momentum. And actually, Monate was one of those successes that birthed out of that season, for example. So along the road to our dreams, we can have these disappointments and failures that come along, but we need to learn not to be afraid of them. So those failures can teach us so much. Anybody read that book by John Maxwell? It says, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn, right? So those failures are an opportunity to learn and to grow. And trust me, I don't want to relive those setbacks again, those losses, but I do see the value in what happened for our family and how it strengthened us and propelled us even for today. And, coming across the border and coming into a new adventure and a new land, coming from one country to another country and basically resetting up life again. So discouragement, those disappointments, anybody been there, failures, what else keeps us from not identifying our dreams is the habit of settling for average. Okay, anybody recognize this one? Let that one sink in for a minute. Is that, or has that been you? Can you see where that's been you? Do you feel ever that you've been not worthy of your dreams? Or is there a reason that you feel you need to maybe play it safe, stay inside your comfort zone? Dreams, what they do is they require us to stretch, right? Do you feel that? Dreams require a person to stretch, to go beyond average, to look at those mediocre situations and say, no more, that's not for me. You can't reach for a dream, right, and remain safely mediocre at the same time, can you? When I come across this topic in this book, I always think of The Incredibles. Anybody watch that movie, The Incredibles? I think of Mr. Incredible, and can anybody remember his frustration when his son Dash? If you remember Dash was the one that was super fast. You could see this whiz of movement, but you wouldn't see him because he was just so fast. And when he went into school, he was actually told not to win the races. He was told to slow down. That was his gift. That was who he was. He was Dash, right? But he had to settle for mediocrity. And this is what really frustrated Mr. Incredible. So I'm going to tell you, none of you are meant to be average. None of you are meant to be hiding the gifting and the talents and that incredible beauty that's inside of you. You know, I'm a person of faith, and I believe that God's made us uniquely and gave us these talents and giftings because there's something special inside each one of us. Those dreams were placed there for a reason. And we get to live out these amazing ideas and plans through these dreams. They're inside of you for that reason. And in order to get to the next level and fight back against that mediocrity, that average and feeling of being stuck and like life happens to everybody else, we got to think and we got to act differently, sometimes even wildly differently than you previously have been. The same old will get you just the same old, right? We can dream. And you know what? It starts right up here. It starts right in our thoughts, and those thoughts become our words. And then our words become our actions. And then you'll see the results of that as it begins to activate in your life. And only you can determine your own success level, your ability to dream. What's happening up here in our thoughts sometimes is taking up way too much space. You hear me there? Has anybody got that negativity that comes there, and you need to shoo it out? Those feelings of doubt, that we allow these limitations to speak over us, and we self-sabotage ourselves. Those words that tell you that you can't. When you look at that word can't, there's a whole big part of it, C-A-N. It's a bigger part of that word than can't. And it says can. We need to take the T out. I can. In order to match that next level, those dreams, yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's actions, they won't do it. You need to match that next level in your thoughts and actions before you can achieve it. You need to discard all those negativities, those things that held you back. The thoughts and the actions need to propel you forward. And we need to keep that goal, that dream right there in our vision, right? You need to keep that desire to move you to that higher place. There's a book that I read. Anybody read it? The 10X by Grant Cardone. If you've read that book, you want to get that book. It's very inspiring, that 10X activity, 10X thoughts, 10X dreams. And he says that although your last breath was important, you know what? It's not nearly as important as your next breath. If you stop trying to succeed or reaching your goal, your dream, well, then it's like trying to live out your next moment out of your last breath of air. Great analogy. Hey? How long will that last? So you know what? We can't settle. We can't say that it's good enough and live in that space of mediocrity when we have dreams and visions and goals that we want to achieve. You are here, every one of you, Erin, Anita, Brittany, Dana, this is iPhone, Pam, Stacy, every one of you are here because someone thought enough of you to believe you can have dreams too. You need to thank that person for believing in you, because I know sometimes we don't even see it to believe it for ourselves, right? We get to that place and we don't even believe in ourselves. But today I want to help you to change that for you so that you can then go and change that for someone else too. It's that pay it forward, that the best pay it forward that you can ever do for someone. So are you with me? With that, let's pay it forward and hold that space for somebody else and believe for them. That's what you're doing when you're bringing a new market partner on board, is you are believing in that dream for them. When you're asking them what their why is, you're discovering and opening up their dreams and everything that is in their purpose and their future. So another reason for not identifying dreams is confidence. Some people lack confidence needed to pursue dreams. Been there, right? It takes confidence to talk about a dream, and it takes confidence even more to pursue that dream. And sometimes confidence separates the people who dream and pursue those dreams from those who don't pursue those dreams. But do you believe in you? Can you believe in you a bit more? Can you do that for someone else? Can you boost their confidence by knowing that someone else believes in them? What would that do for you? What would that do for somebody else? If someone told you tonight, Erin, I believe in you. Dana, I believe in you. What would that do for you? I believe in your dream, if somebody spoke that for you, especially when you don't feel that, what would that do? It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable enough to say, here's what I hope for, here's what I dream for, and then to lay it out. Now imagine what we all could achieve if we all increased our belief just a little bit more tonight. April 1st coming up tomorrow, if we all had that extra confidence in our dreams that, April can turn around. It can be even better than March was. Another reason is some people lack imagination to dream. We all want imagination. When Senior Louise says dream bigger, right? That's igniting our imagination. That imagination is that soil where we plant and then we see something birth and come to life. So no matter what our age is, no matter what our condition is, there's untapped possibilities inside each of you waiting to be born. And I encourage you to discover that and to not let those things to just stay stagnant. So ownership is step number one. One of the steps to identifying, testing your dream out of 10 is ownership. Is my dream really my dream? Ask yourself that. Are you living your dream, or are you living the dream someone else has for you? Which one is it? Is your dream your dream? Have you ever heard you should be maybe it's a nurse or a secretary, fill in the blank, and you thought, I always wanted to be I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have flexibility with my time. I want to do this, but so-and-so, maybe it's your parents or somebody wanted you to do something different and you don't want to disappoint them. So you do that instead. My mom owned a ladies' wear store. Actually, she had 3 ladies' wear stores. And growing up, I got to shadow her and I got to learn about business and be part of her fashion shows, help her with buying clothes for the next season. And she was really graceful with me. She named the store after me, Kari Lynn's Fashions. And she had really hoped that I would take over the store when I got older. And when I had different dreams. I wanted to be with my kids, and I wanted to pursue my music, and I wanted to eventually I wanted to homeschool, and later that became my why in Monet, and it still is today, even though, my family is ages 17, 21, my kids up to 26, they are my why. Everything that motivates me is still for them. And you know what? My son told me once when he was just 4 years old, he had heard me talking about my dream is to be with my kids. And you know what? He was in the vehicle and he stuck his little head out as I was coming around the vehicle to get him out of his car seat. And he says, Mom, my dream is about you too. Melt my heart. So when that dream is right for the person and the person is right for the dream, you know what? Those two can't be separated from each other. So what is that dream that's igniting in you? For something to truly be your dream, you need to see the possibility that it represents, and you need to own it. Ownership is the first vital step to fulfilling that dream. So if you agree with that and you want to own your dream, write ownership in the comments that you want to take ownership of your dream. Now, how do you do that? Let's look at some steps. Number one, you got to be willing to bet on yourself. So you may succeed if no one else believes in you, but you will never succeed if you don't believe in yourself. So let me ask you, would you be here? Would you have even entertained the idea of becoming a market partner if you didn't have a level of belief that you could do this? You had to have some level. Somebody believed in you too. What do you do on those days that you don't believe in yourself? Do you remind yourself of your why? Do you look at your dream board? Do you have that? Do you have someone that will hold your belief for you till you get your belief back? Again, this is so important. So you can use that dream board if you've got one. If you have a picture on your phone and pictures that you can scroll through to remind you of your why. Maybe it's an accountability person. It's that team that you have, your upline. It can be somebody that reminds you of your why and reminds you of your wins, because we get defeated, right? Anybody with me? And we hear a no and we get defeated. We don't realize that goal that we really wanted and we feel maybe like we're a failure. We need to remind each other of our wins and our why. And how else can you take ownership of your dream? You can lead your life instead of accepting your life, making the right decisions and managing those decisions every single day you wake up. Talk about that daily method of operations, right? You can fit your dream right in there. The power of choice is the greatest power that a person has. Every one of you has. We took ownership in a big way ourselves. We moved across the country. We were in Alberta, Canada, to Florida just this past November. And this was a dream of my husband's, actually, to live in the US. He's been talking about it for years and pursue business here. And I saw the opportunity for my kids and the adventure that we could have as a family, and that they wanted to still all come, even though they're older. And well, you know what, this has been hard on so many levels. Our heartstrings are back in Canada. In so many ways, it's also been very rewarding, and I know that our journey has just begun, but this was taking ownership of our dream. And I saw the path that our family could have been on, or would have been on, and I also saw the path that our family could be on, and I chose the adventure and to live life by design, something that I could do with my family. And I've got Monate, and it comes along with me, and now my whole family can do this adventure together. So I encourage you to lead life instead of accepting life. And the next one is love what you do and do what you love, right? Successful people, those who see and seize their dreams, you know what? They love what they do, and they do what they love. They love their passion. They allow their passion to guide them. Why? Because that's their purpose. Purpose and potential, they go hand in hand. Your purpose and your potential go hand in hand. So what is one of the things that you love about Monate? Let's share them. I discovered through this journey of Monate that I love the community. I love the people. I love you being here, meeting new friends. And I love discovering through our journey, even though we had a lot of family loss over the last several years, you know what? One of my purposes, I love helping people. Yes. One of my purposes, as I saw, especially my brother passed away, and I recognized how he passed away was with a lie, was with a belief that he lacked value. And I never want that to happen to somebody again. And this is one of my motivators for reaching out to people and helping them to birth whatever is inside of them, so that every person knows that they're valuable. And I want you to share, what are some of the things that you love about Monate? And for me, it's community, and we love what we do, right? We love what we get to do. So what do you love? I'd love to hear more of why you do what you do. What do you love about being that entrepreneur, having the flexibility and the time freedom, right? And another aspect of taking ownership of your dream is never compare yourself or your dream to others. Do you know what happens when you compare yourself with others? When you compare yourself with those that you feel are superior, you know what? You become inferior, and you slink back, you go back. And when you compare yourself with those that are inferior, as you may perceive them, well, you might feel superior, or you will feel superior. It's all in your mindset. But when you stop comparing yourself with others, you know what? You'll feel empowered. Who wants to feel empowered? Success is doing the best you can with what you have wherever you start in life. And the last one there is believe in your vision for the future, even when others don't understand you. Anybody been there? You're not an accident. You have a vision for a reason. You're here for a reason. And those dreams, those desires that are inside of you, they're there for a reason. And if success is not on your own terms, if it looks good to the world, but it doesn't feel good in your soul, then it's not success at all. We need to own that dream. The potential that exists inside of you is limitless and largely untapped. Because when you think about limits, you know what happens is you create them. So next time that you hear yourself thinking of limitations, I can't do that, and I'm not very good at that, or oh no, that's something I'm not comfortable with. Catch those limitations, catch it for somebody else too, and throw out those limitations, because when we think of those limitations, we create them. What you focus on grows. So instead, create possibilities. Instead of I can't, it's how can I, right? You can own your dream. What if you had no limitations? When you take ownership of your dream, you know what you're doing? You're committing to that dream. So I'm going to ask you a number here. What's your level of commitment on a scale of 1 to 10? Being, be nice to have, and 10 being, I lose sleep at night because I want it so bad. What is your level of commitment to your dream? If it's less than an 8, well, you need to decide if your dream is really your dream, if it's just a hobby, or maybe it's somebody else's dream for you. Ask yourself, what would I do if I had no limitations? Or what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? 10. Awesome. All right. The first step in being able to answer that question is you got to take ownership of your dream and prepare to start moving forward. So, for example, let's say we're planning a trip. Who's going to Vegas here? We're planning for a trip, right? And the next trip, Bahamas. When you're going on a holiday, you prepare, right? So thinking about your dream, you know what? You can prepare too. You speak it, you wake up thinking about it, you talk about it, you create space for that. You become the person you need to be that is that dream, living that dream. There's no 3-year-old toddler that will be capable of achieving adult accomplishments, right? So what happens? They have to grow. They need to grow to reach those bigger dreams, just like us. We need to grow. There's a lid. John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid. You know, in order to reach new goals in our business, we also have to reach that in our mindset, in our personal growth and development. And we can take that lid off when we grow, when we prepare to dream big. We need to become that person that we're called to be, and don't accept that mediocrity. And then when I talk to you about the cost of the dream, there will always be a cost of the dream. We talked about ownership of the dream. Another component of testing your dream is the cost. So not dollars and cents cost, but it's, are you willing to pay the price for your dream? Dreams are personal, and people avoid that question. They avoid the cost. And you know what happens is really they're avoiding the dream. So what about you? Have you learned about sacrifice in areas of your life? How do you answer that cost question? Are you willing to pay the price? And sometimes it's not as much as you think it is for your dream. Maybe it's just stepping outside of your comfort zone, and one thing might seem like it's just the most scariest thing ever, and then you do it, and then, hey, you know what, that wasn't quite so bad, and you do it again, and hey, I think I'm getting the hang of this, right? So we step outside of our comfort zone. That's one of the things that can be that cost, you know, that willingness to get uncomfortable and grow past your current limitations, right? Yes or no? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to get uncomfortable for your dream? Are you willing to grow past your current limitations? Yes or no? Are you willing to try new things? Are you willing to go through that frustration, maybe, of learning the newest technique? Maybe, you know, with most recent training there, it's figuring out, how do I do this real and not look silly? You know, spend 5 hours doing it. Are you willing to do that? Some of these costs, or maybe it's just being vulnerable with doing a live. What cost is it that you need to do next? What's the next step of growth for you? Do you need to have that non-negotiable, something that you will do consistently every single day in your business? Maybe it's just getting up an hour earlier so that you can make sure that your DMO is done, right? Or are you willing to pay that price for your dream? Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. Would you agree? I want you to consider these points. The dream is actually free, but the journey is not free. John Maxwell talks in his book, at some point, you have to make that transition from the believer of the dream to the buyer of the dream. This is where we want to be. We want to be the buyer of that dream, because dreams don't come without paying for them in some form, some fashion. Some stretch marks have to come along the way, right? The price sometimes has to be paid sooner than we think. Dream believers, you know what? They're actually in abundance. It's the dream buyers that are rare. Are you rare? Are you one of those dream buyers? These are the ones that are willing to do the do, as John Maxwell says, do the do. Are you willing to do the do? Are you willing to grow, to finally say goodbye to those fears, goodbye to those limitations, those things that sabotage us, and to do the things that cause you to feel uncomfortable at times, but you know it's going to give you the greatest sense of achievement once you've done it. Even if you didn't do it as well as you thought you would, you did it, right? That's that growth. Dream believers are everywhere. We can be the dream buyers, right? So are you willing to grow? This also means, are you teachable? Are you coachable? Does your upline give you a suggestion of what to do, but you only want to do things the way that it's safe, the way that you've always done them, right? Remember what I said before, you do things the way you do, you're always going to get the things you always got, right? So I ask you, will you be a dream buyer? Will you be a dream buyer today? Put that dream buyer in the comments if that's you, if you're going to make that change from dream believer to dream buyer today. And you know what else? The price will always be higher than you expect. So some of these costs are realities. Never once have you ever heard people that are successful saying, you know what, that was just way easier than I ever anticipated it would be. No, Monate rewards us well, right? Monate pays us amazingly, and they give all these amazing bonuses, and then they make it fun on top of it all. And their business design is over the top. But you know what? We still have to do the do. It still takes consistency. It still takes doing things when we don't feel like doing them. Who's with me here? Anybody had to push yourself through and I don't feel like it, I'm scared to do that, or it didn't go well last time, I don't want to have to do that again. But you have that relentless desire inside of you to push you through some of those things, even though there's a price to pay, you're willing to do it. And you know what else? That price is going to happen more than once. So expect it. It's not like we're going to go step out of our comfort zone once and then we can say, phew, I'm glad that's done and over, and crawl back inside of our comfort zone again, right? No, that statement used to describe that process, you know what it is you've got to give up to go up. You've got to give up those old ways, those old thoughts, those old negativities, those old limitations, those things that sabotage you. You've got to give those ones up. You got to think differently. Remember the 10X, you got to think big, dream big. Like Senior Louise says, you've got to give up those old ways, those old mindsets, because you know what? Those are the ones that kept you stuck. So it is possible that you can pay too much for your dream. You never want to sacrifice your dream for your dream. You don't want to ruin your health or sacrifice your family, for example. But the beautiful thing about our opportunity is that we get to design it, right? There are different types of costs. There's types of costs like time with family and friends. Maybe sleeping in on Saturday morning, you can give that up. Instead of watching TV, you choose to work towards your dream. You attend a Meet Monate or a training, or you do that power hour instead. They're not really big costs, but they are there, right? What about the cost of dealing with criticism? Anybody been there from people that matter in your life? You know, everyone that pursues a dream is going to have that criticism at some point. We just have to be ready for it. It's going to be there. You have to learn to ignore it, because people, as I mentioned, will want to speak into your life and to pull you down and tell you that, you know, well-meaning, but don't do that. You have to deal with that criticism from people that matter and know that your dream is your dream because you own it. Sometimes the cost is the price for overcoming your fears. So can you overcome your fears? Of course you can, but all dreams, you know what? They're outside the comfort zone. And if they weren't, we would already be realizing all of them, right? They'd be easy. But leaving that comfort zone is the price that we have to pay to achieve them. It's good to get out of the comfort zone. Who's been out of the comfort zone and seeing what's on the other side? I speak from recent experience there, leaving your country, your life, and everything that you know, to knowing nothing, no one, not even, you know what, we had this thought when we went grocery shopping the first time, not even the food is the same. Not even the food is the same. The grocery store is not even the same. Like everything is outside of our comfort zone. And it's scary to do that. But you know what? That's where everything happens. So we can pay the price of hard work. When it comes to success, there's no escalators. You got to work hard. You got to work smarter, not harder. You got to work at it, and you got to be consistent, and you got to do those dailies in order to achieve your goals. And those are the costs that we have. Sometimes they're bigger than we think they are, right? These costs. And if we realize them ahead of time, we can go into them realizing, hey, you know what? I don't mind that. I can grow in this area. So I ask you, what is your dream worth? What is your dream worth? If the cost requires you to sacrifice what is most important to you, your values, your family, your integrity, well, then it's not worth it. But you can dream a new dream that will not cause you to compromise. And that's where Monate fits in, right? The exciting thing with what we have is that you can make your dream fit you. If you want to change it, you can. You know, how many MPs, I asked Aaron, how many MPs do we have in Monate? And I think his answer was 100,000. Now, correct me if I'm wrong there. We have 100,000 MPs in Monate now. Do you realize that's how many unique dreams there are too? So what's your dream worth? What's your unique dream worth to you? And that's what you need to figure out about the cost question. You need to count the cost. Are you willing to give up on certain aspects and comforts that you have, or are you willing to give up on the dream, right? Sometimes attending the Meet Monates and listening to testimonials and hearing others' stories about people that have gone before you and seen what they've done, those can be helpful in helping you to answer that question for you, and seeing other people realize their dream and living that out. And we can ask ourselves, okay, how much am I willing to pay for my dream? What am I not willing to pay? And then which one of my dreams am I willing to let die? That one's a hard one to answer. We don't want to let our dreams die, do we? Right? We never want to let those dreams die. So what is your dream worth? Does it mean that you can get out of your comfort zone? April's right around the corner. What is it that you have to do, that you know you should do, to step outside of your comfort zone? What is that one thing that's going to stretch you, but it's going to be so worth it for you and for your dream? So don't leave your dream to chance. How long it takes depends on you, and the amount of time will be affected by how self-aware you are, how honest you are about your strengths and your weaknesses, your history, how much time and energy you've given and you're willing to do. How much are you willing to stretch? Are you willing to take on new steps, to learn new things, to be intentional about your personal growth? Every single day, you're going to work on you, to remove that lid that I talked about, and take your personal growth seriously, and then keeping on towards that dream. We don't want to leave March and leave our dreams still tucked away, right? We want to live them every single day. There's that law of the lid. Your business growth will never grow past your personal growth. You want to reach your dreams, you're going to have to grow. So where are you stuck? Your dreams are going to stay stuck there too. If you leave your business and your dream to chance, don't leave it to chance. You got to be intentional. So don't forget, friends, the bigger the dream, and we have big dreams. I saw some of you say that, right? The bigger the dream, it's going to have a cost to it. The higher the cost, if you are unwilling to pay what it's likely to cost, we got to do the do. Then you need to change your dream. Are you willing to do that? I'm not. I'm not. I want to live the dream. I think we all want to live that dream, and those dreams are things that we're not going to let go of. We're going to be relentless about. So I have a couple of questions up on the screen there, and I want you to unmic yourself if you're comfortable. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these questions, or to put them into the comments here as we wrap up, and you can read them there as I give you just a couple of final comments from John's book. He describes the primary reason that people fail to reach their dream is that they don't have enough valid reasons for it. So your why has to be big. The reasons that you have need to do this, to reach your dream, needs to be multiple reasons. So what are your reasons for achieving your dream? What are your reasons for achieving your dream? How does your dream excite you? Does it excite you? Maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what is that dream that excites you. And in the past month, looking back at March, how has your dream taken you out of your comfort zone? Did it? Where are you at with your comfort zone? Where are you at with your dream? So it's one thing to have a dream. It's another thing to do the things that are needed to achieve it. So we're not going to leave our dreams to chance, right? We're going to engage in the process, and you're going to live out those dreams because you're worth it, and you're willing to put into it what you need to do to reach that dream. So my last question for you is your dream worth it? Is your dream worth it? I'm going to stop my screen share here. So I'd love to hear from you and some of the questions that I've asked here. Anybody want to share what your dream is, or if you've had to step out of your comfort zone this month, this last week to reach that goal, that dream? How important is your dream? What are your dreams? Feel free to unmute. Has anybody got a story about your dream and how you've been able to see that and seize it already? Brittany says, my dream is to personally impact 1,000 families. That is incredible. That is incredible. I love that. Dream big, right? Dream big. Something like that is going to cause you to go out of your comfort zone, right? And to grow. Wow, Britt. Yeah, that is incredible. Love it. Love it. Anybody else want to share before we close out? I'm going to turn it back over to you, Erin, and encourage you to follow up with the rest of the book and to take your personal growth intentionally every day, and to continue on with pursuing that dream in April.
Wow, thank you so much. Kari did an amazing job bringing everybody's dreams to life. Really getting us to think about it and challenge ourselves. I can't think of a better way to end this quarter and prepare ourselves as we go into April, to really hone in on why are you doing this and why do you keep on doing this, and live that and challenge that every single day. I'd recommend you guys read that book. John Maxwell challenges you with all 10 questions. So I think it's really worth it. I wanted to say something about my dream, of course. And your dreams have setbacks, right? So my dream was to live my best life with Roxy. We had gotten back to a spot in our lives that was just amazing, and but obviously there was a setback, and you have to make a decision on give up and be done, or do you still have a dream? And my dreams include my family. It includes myself. I've been basically finding a path to live my dreams these days. And if you haven't noticed, I'm on a tropical island in I think it's the Thailand Sea. It's called. It's off the Pacific Ocean, and pretty amazing. This is my hotel, and we're about to check out of it. But it's like my own personal lagoon when I look out the window, and I just can't imagine what my life would be like without Roxy making decisions on our dreams, without me and Brittany carrying these on for everybody and even ourselves. And we want to make sure that everybody has that opportunity. So perfect trainings like this to really hone in on that and keep that in perspective as you guys continue to work your business and see how you can go after those dreams and start to live those dreams. So thank you very much, Kari, for doing this. It's always great to talk to you and see you. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great one.
Thanks, everybody. Okay. Thanks, Erin.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.